Oh, hey. Oh, wait. Hey, everyone. Hey, listen, so let me ask you this. Have you ever, clear my throat a little bit. Have you ever come across a story that just pulls at your heartstrings, violin playing and everything? Maybe it was like a video on social media about a rescued puppy or or a news segment about a community coming together to help those in need. Like we've been hearing about the fires out in California recently. Have you ever had a story like that that just kind of pulled on your heartstrings? Because these stories have a powerful way of resonating with us, don't they? There's just something about seeing kindness in action, the triumph of human spirit. It makes us want to be a part of it. But what happens when this kindness goes wrong? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Are you ready, friends? Let's go.
Welcome to the Friday Fraudster podcast. Join them as they discuss sad, funny, and sometimes disturbing fraud stories. Be sure to catch past episodes on your favorite podcasting platform or go to www.fridayfraudster.com.
All right, you heard the question I asked earlier. Have you ever just heard a story that just really pulled on your heartstrings? I remember when I was growing up, I'm about to date myself again, but anytime you turned on the television late at night, you would see a woman named Sally Struthers, and she'd be over in Africa holding hands with little kids saying, for only $1 a month, you too can sponsor a starving child. So have you seen anything like that? And what have you seen lately? And what did you feel when you saw it? I also mentioned the fires out in LA. You see people getting rescued. If you remember years back, we had Hurricane Katrina. Because it seems like everyone is asking for donations for various things. A donation here, a fundraiser there, all in the name of protecting the most vulnerable. But what happens when the story starts to shift? Now, Stephanie is here from Idaho. Hello. Marsha is here. Marsha's here on LinkedIn and on YouTube. How about that? Marsha said hello from Toronto, and she said, I hope Christine is back. Did I do that bad of a job solo? No, Christine is here. I can see her laughing at what I just said. I was telling her earlier how I said, I told you all last week, Christine is sick, maybe of me, because all she said was, I'm sick. I don't know if she finished that paragraph or not, but she came back, so maybe she's not sick of me. So without further ado, especially since everybody's asking,
I am not sick of you. But the illness finally hit me and my family, so.
She had the cooties, you guys. She had to do the circle, dot. You know what's crazy? That's actually what I sent her in a message. I was like, Christine, you got to do circle, dot.
And I didn't get that, and I was literally too tired. There was one meeting that I made on Friday, and the person I had it with, I was joking around with earlier this week, and like, yeah, I'm sorry if I was just straight to the point. I woke up 15 minutes before that meeting. Like, I set my alarm. I slept all morning. So thanks for giving me the Friday off, Rob.
Okay, so wait. Have you, the question I asked earlier, have you heard something on television or seen something on television that kind of just really pulled at your heartstrings and just made you want to open up your wallet and donate?
No. I feel like I really so heartless with that. I don't even know how to explain that. I mean, I can have emotions, but it just doesn't. Like, Sarah McLachlan does not tug at my heartstrings.
Okay. Why does it not, though?
I don't know. I'm not a cold person. Like I think it takes a lot to hit my heartstrings, I guess.
Mm.
But I don't know. I don't know.
Ah, Stephanie says yes.
Okay.
After 9/11. You know what? Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
There were a lot of charitable donations taking up money for various things, especially to take care of kids who had lost their mother and father, or mother or father. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, just think about how much usage is up for GoFundMe. Like how that fast that blew up.
That one is fascinating.
Mhm. And like the stuff that you ask for.
That's kind of where I was going with that one. GoFundMe, for those of you who don't know, GoFundMe is essentially a service, a website where you can sign up and you ask for money from people. You lay out your case. Hey, I'm struggling to pay for college. Hey, my car just had a flat tire. Or, hey, you know, somebody just died and I need help with funeral arrangements. There are a variety of things that you can put on GoFundMe, and as the name says, go fund me. You want people to fund you. And the amount of money that flows through that website is astronomical. And then sometimes it comes back that people were frauds.
Well, and right now they've got tons for the California fires, like individual families. And there's some people that have raised over $100,000. There's some that are only at 1,600. Like there's 306 pages
Oh, wow. Of
just to
active.
donate for the California wildfires.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. But so nothing has really tugged at your heartstrings. Okay. The Sally Struthers
Not where I gave a
commercials got me.
significant amount, not where I've given a significant amount of money to.
Well, Stephanie says that she does a ton of research to make sure that it's legit. Yeah, yeah. I think that's the thing. You have to do a significant amount of research. And I think the research is easier nowadays than it was in the past. Because in the past, we didn't even know that if it was a charitable organization, you could look up their 990, which is their tax form that they have to file. It discloses everything. You see how much directors got paid and salaries. And when you see with some charitable organizations that only like 5% of what's collected actually make it to the people that the charity was created for, that's usually,
There's quite a few of them out there.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you know what? Darn it. I just had a brain freeze. There's also another organization that will rate various charitable organizations, and they'll tell you how much money is spent on administrative tasks versus how much is actually spent for the cause that they are there to represent. And I've forgotten the name of that agency. I had it in my notes, but somehow I'm looking at the wrong notes right now. So, duh.
If there is one, I don't remember what it is.
I've completely forgotten what it's called now. But
But
yeah,
I feel like you're right.
yeah, yeah. And for some reason, I want to say Morningstar, but that's not it. Morningstar is just stock markets as a whole. But anyway, there are a lot of resources for us to do a ton of research. And, I think that the charities that do the best are often ones surrounding children,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
because they are kind of um, the most unprotected beings in society, right? If you really look at it.
Yeah. And I think it's I don't want to say that kids are helpless, but do you know what I'm saying? They can't take care of themselves at certain ages and stuff like that. So I think that's what also tends to get more people to probably donate to causes for children.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Which is why those Sally Struthers commercials, I will never forget them. Now Marsha says I'm losing my memory. Marsha, I lost that a long time ago. I lost that a long time ago.
like, what are you what are you talking about? I don't know who that person is.
Who, Marsha?
No.
Oh, Sally Struthers.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull that up now. Then, so just give me one moment while I stall for a little bit, and while I also pull up Sally Struthers. But what would happen was late at night, these commercials would come on, and you would see her uh asking for money for children. Oh, here we go. For 65 cents a day, I found it. Hold
Oh,
on a second. Give me just 1 second here. Let me make sure it's a legitimate commercial before I put it up on the screen. Yep, this is a legit commercial. Hopefully YouTube won't give me a copyright strike for this if I put it up. But I can't believe that I'm the only one that remembers this. Well, okay. Um, let's see. Let me move it over for just 1 minute. I know I'm old and everything, but gosh, I can't be the only one. Okay, so here we go. Sally Struthers commercial from be careful sharing screen audio. Hold on. Just make sure it's gonna let me. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear the sound when I pull it up. But these are the commercials that will come on late at night in the 80s, maybe in the 90s, but I know for a fact in the 80s. And this woman her name is Sally Struthers, and you see it says up top, circa 1994. Okay, she makes a plea for needy kids. All right.
Drought and famine.
Lacks the power to stir our hearts. The simplest thing in the world is to just turn all this off. Turn off babies who are near death simply because they have no food or water. I can't. I've seen too much. But I've seen something else too. I've seen babies come alive with new health because people have called them to come Save the Children sponsors. That's why we urgently need you to call Save the Children. It won't take much, $20 a month. But where children are hurting, that's enough for nutritious food, medical care, whatever a child needs most. In fact, Money Magazine has once again named Save the Children one of America's best charities. So you can continue to turn off the news, or you can call this number and say yes to sponsoring one precious girl or boy. I promise you can help make these conflict issues go away. Please call.
So yeah.
so what is? I'm trying to sit here and think. Is it the ASPCA?
See this property on Craigslist for $4,300 a month? Well, it's been sitting empty for the last 28 days.
Uh-oh, give me just 1 second here. YouTube is still playing. All right.
Man, she was asking for a lot back then. That's like almost $20 a month.
Yeah, that's what she said. Stephanie noticed the hair. Did you notice the big hair?
Yes. But like, I guess that's my whole entire thing. Like, I'm sitting here going, donation isn't impacted by inflation, apparently. Because like ASPCA, I know their commercials come on. They're like, if you could just donate $20 a month.
Yeah. And to your point though, that was a lot back then.
Mm-hmm.
$20 a month back in 1994. That was a lot.
Yeah. Gas was under $1 back then.
Oh yeah, you're right, it was. But it really gets you to wondering though, does the money actually reach the intended recipients, and or how much of the money actually reaches the intended recipients?
Depends on what organization you're talking about. What kind of oversight do they have? For me, I would look at like red flag. I mean, if you want to give to a charity, easiest Google question, go on to Google, how much does the CEO make?
Exactly, because what was it? It was the American Cancer Society, I think, where the CEO was making multiple millions of dollars per year. And it really does make you wonder, when I donate to charity, where is my money going? Does it get to the intended recipients? So now, with that said, though, let's just dive right in to today's story. Because
Yeah.
today's story, I'm just going to give it to you. I think we've had a good enough warm up here. We're just going to give it to you. The organization that we're talking about today is called the Hope Box. And on the surface, it seemed like a beacon of hope. They were dedicated to rescuing abandoned babies and protecting them from harm. And this is the kind of mission that everyone would want to support wholeheartedly, right? But as the layers unfolded, it became clear that the narrative wasn't as straightforward as it appeared. So, for example, they registered, quote unquote, registered as a nonprofit organization, but they never completed the full registration process. So that's kind of a red flag, right?
Yeah, so they didn't register. Like, there's a part of me going, okay, you didn't register.
Okay, so you don't care about that. You don't care about that. But the regulators came in and said, you need to cease and desist operations since you are not registered. So now, if you don't care if they're not registered, as long as they're still doing good, if some agency with authority came in and said you need to stop and cease your operations, would you then cease?
I would think so. So the way that I'm looking at it from they didn't file, like I look at it from the state wants their money. We need to track so we can help with regulation. Totally, completely fine with that. But she could have registered and still been doing this stuff.
True.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately,
I don't think it hindered her. It just put a very big target on her.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, though, when they told her to cease operations, she did not. So, how would you feel about someone who's running a charitable organization? They aren't registered, they're told to stop, and then they continue.
They should stop. I mean, but I guess I just don't know. Like, I would assume they would probably start fining them, starting revoking things. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I understand you have to have a license to do certain operations, right? And I'm kind of trying to look at this. How would it be any different with a hair cutting place that they have to have their beautician license?
That's a good point. That's a good point. So the mission means a lot then. Because I'll be honest with you, when it comes to like beauticians and barbers, you have to follow the laws, rules, and regulations. But let's be honest, a lot of that is just a money grab. Those licenses are very expensive in many states. And do you really need to have a license to trim up somebody's head?
Right.
I mean, technically you do, right? When I was young, though, one of my buddies who lived up the street, he would cut my hair. He'd come over every other Saturday with his clippers, and we'd sit outside in the backyard, and he would just cut my hair. No license, nothing like that. Ooh, now Stephanie brings up a good point. It's one thing to apply, but to actually get the seal of approval, the blessing of the government, and have a third-party auditing process to keep things clean, that's a whole nother thing altogether. Yeah.
I know, but like I wasn't big into like non-profit organizations and stuff until I volunteered to be the treasurer for like our band organization, right? So I do have to sit there and like file certain things for the organization every single year. I have to pay for our business license. I have to pay for our tax exemption and all that stuff. But like there's nobody audits me. We don't file taxes because we don't pay taxes. Like, so right now, the only oversight that we have is the rest of our board when I present financials.
Yeah, and I think that's why context matters, right? Because how much money are we talking? What's the mission and vision? And I do have to go back. I apologize. That was Kay that said that. I'm looking down here now and I can see Kay, but also they're telling me this actually is Stephanie here saying this is Kay, and then this is Kay saying Kay.
Okay.
So but yeah. So these things are kind of squishy, right? They're kind of squishy. Now, I think where it does get serious though is if you're collecting money for a specific cause and then using it for something else altogether. Because what they're alleging is that from January of 2018 through June of 2023, the individual in charge of this organization allegedly misappropriated tens of thousands of dollars meant for the charity. So the lawsuit claims that she used donor funds for personal expenses, including hair salon visits, dental work, dinners, her daughter's birthday party, $800 for photos at her son's wedding, and this is the big one, $36,000 at restaurants, brew pubs, and liquor stores.
They have that all like line itemed out. They had dates of stuff. They didn't have an amount, but she transferred, and so I don't know how her husband's not being brought in because she transferred thousands into his private checking account. So
maybe he didn't know.
He might not have.
Maybe he thought
that he does.
Maybe he thought that was a part of her salary.
It could have been. Like my husband does not know how to log into online banking for our accounts. Right.
See?
So, I mean, he's that person. He'll just be like, hey, how much was my check? So
he trusts you.
It's a possibility.
He trusts you. Yeah.
But he does not verify. He does not learn anything from me. That's for sure.
Or if we channel our inner Kelly Paxton, trust is not a control.
Correct.
So individuals gave money to this charitable organization, trusting that she would do what she was supposed to do with it. And she allegedly siphoned off tens of thousands of dollars for her own personal use.
I mean, did they say, so I found the new article about how much she's got to repay. Did they say how much they thought? Was it 100,000?
Yeah, so they're saying that the court is demanding recovery of $100,000. So I'm guessing that's. So one article I read said that they were demanding recovery of 100,000, and then another one kind of intertwined recovery along with a fine. So I couldn't figure out if they were saying that they were able to estimate about 100,000 was what she siphoned, or if 100,000 is the recovery of one amount plus an amount for a fine. But either way, everything I'm reading is saying that it's at $100,000 right now.
Okay. Yeah, so the one I looked up, there was a February 5th release 2 days ago. Yeah, $80,000 she's got to repay, sell the car, and shut down her charity, which she was supposed to do back in 2023, though, too.
Yeah, the first time in June of 2023, she signed an agreement to shut down the charity, but she didn't.
Yeah. She blew through that.
She did. And I think one of the more discouraging things about this is if you look at the charity itself and what it was supposed to be doing. This is an extremely needed, necessary, and noble service.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's a little discouraging and disheartening. Like every time we do some of these stories, I'm just like, how in the world could you do that? But For
We
this
have them
one,
here.
say again.
We have them here in Wisconsin. But they're called safe haven boxes.
Ah.
So yeah, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Arkansas, Florida, New Mexico, North Carolina, and Tennessee have them.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the website is still up. So I don't know if somebody else is going to take it over, but if you read the website, so the organization description or a website for it on the Cobb County community platform, it says rescuing babies, empowering women, and uniting communities. And so it says there are 159 counties in Georgia, more than any other state, and many of these counties are rural, making essential training for their first responders hard to maintain. Each training costs about $800 and equips up to 50 personnel. So the training that they do is educate fire stations, police stations, and hospital employees about what to do if there's, an abandoned baby or something like that. So, and if you look at the mission, it says the Hope Box advocates for at-risk mothers and infants and educates our community regarding the abandonment and the safe haven law. So
it is a sad thing to think about.
It is. Oh, and the website is down. It was a Wix site, and the website is down. But the Cobb County Community Connection page dedicated to it is still up. So yeah, the website is down, but oh yeah, 100% with you. So Kay is saying, bottom line,
it's
she
the same
exploited
concept as the safe haven.
Yeah. So Kay is saying she exploited impoverished and needy children for her own greedy gains. Simple, sick. Oh God, she said she's got to stop watching us during lunchtime. She said, no offense, we do a great job, but yeah. So wait, you must be what on the West Coast, okay? Because it's 2 p.m. for us, so you must be on the West Coast. Yeah, it is interesting the things that we find, and I think too. I don't know. Sometimes I get a little jaded myself because I'm like, oh, not another one of these. And so every once in a while, we'll throw in some celebrity doing something stupid. But
oh yeah. No, I mean it's sad, but I'm glad that it is one of those things. Like I sit here and look at this. It's a tool that can be utilized. And if it means we've got 50 safe haven boxes out there or the Hope boxes, and it saves one child's life, like I think it's worth the cost for it. If it means that somebody felt safe, if they felt, they needed that help.
So, okay. Couple things that I was thinking. In order for her to be able to siphon that much money away, either A, it was making a fair amount of money in order for her to be able to take it, or B, it wasn't making a lot of money and she couldn't pay herself a fair salary, which, a lot of times with nonprofits, you have a lot of volunteers. But it makes me wonder which one she fell into, because I wasn't able to tell like what her background was and all that other good stuff. So
I didn't get her background, but I think I don't want to say she was being greedy because I don't know how much it costs to operate this, but like some of the discrepancies they noted was that she reported just over $2,000, but the bank records show $5,000 deposit. $905 was reported, but it was over almost 11,800 was deposited. 1,400, almost 6,000, and then another one was for $4,500, but the bank deposited 26,000. So like there was big discrepancies in what she was depositing and what she was reporting. She wasn't hiding it.
Yeah.
Sure.
We, so Shree says, I know
I
you
love
have to
that.
say allegedly, but she did it. No, so to the point that you're making, though, Christine, it makes me wonder how many other people actually worked with her in the operations and what kind of controls they may have had in place to prevent and or detect what was going on.
Well, I mean, do we have to say allegedly if she was ordered to repay the $80,000 in February, 2 days ago?
Oh, you know what? We may not have to.
I
And I just tend to say it a lot because I forget whether some of the stories we have are still pending trial and some of them have already been settled. And I just blanketly say it so that nobody will get mad at me.
But can we even say guilty? Because she was ordered to repay. So this was not a criminal, right? This was just, hey, you need to pay this money back.
Yeah.
She's not serving any time here either. Which I'm a little surprised. They told you to stop operating the business and you continued operating the business. She didn't stop the first time. What makes you think she's going to do it the second?
So, okay. So now, I noticed that too, and I started trying to look it up. Maybe this is the DA's office being a little smart. And I do mean maybe really being smart, because if you think about it, it takes a lot of money to go to trial. And if someone has already admitted guilt and they're going to pay it back, do they want her to serve jail time? I would say yes, you probably should. But, maybe that's what they were thinking, or maybe the criminal trial is pending.
Yeah.
Maybe she settled before the trial and maybe sentencing is coming. I don't know. This one is very fresh, like you said, just 2 days ago. But that struck me too, because normally they'll say, okay, this person was ordered to do this and sentencing is set for this date. But I didn't see any of that.
No. It was just like, nope, she's got to pay us back.
Yeah. So it's a weird one. Okay, so now let's talk about some controls that may have been missed, either from external parties or within the organization itself. I think the registration is definitely a red flag. Not necessarily the fact that maybe if she wasn't registered to begin with, that should have been, but the fact that she was ordered to stop operations or register or stop operations until you were fully registered or whatever that was.
Right.
That's a red flag.
Right. And I think for them, like they said, their flag was they opened the investigation June of 22 due to the inconsistencies in her application. So she did end up applying, but there was those inconsistencies. So I do think I agree with you. Yes, they help with red flags.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too, though, those inconsistencies had to do with members of the management team. For example, she said that certain members were on her board, but apparently they really weren't. So it sounds like she was running the organization solo so that she could have full authority and autonomy, so that she could siphon money when and if she wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if it was just her, if she was the only one owning it and she had it, like her employees were her family, I don't know how much oversight you can have to prevent that. I mean, if you're using it to commit fraud, you're going to find a way to commit fraud, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Marsha brings up a good point. She says she had a 1-800 number, which allegedly may seem legit. I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm telling you. So donor transparency or donor assurance is probably another red flag, because a lot of times nonprofits at the end of the year they'll produce an annual report and put it on their website. And like I said earlier, for those of you who didn't know, you can check their 990, which is a required tax form or a required form that shows how much money was taken in and how it was disposed of.
Yep.
Now, if she was never registered, then, she probably didn't fill out the 990 anyway. But most times nonprofits want to brag about the good that they've done. We spent X number of dollars serving X number of people and things like that. So that could be another red flag for people. But then no monitoring mechanism at all.
Well, I found their 2023 990.
You did? Oh, I couldn't find it. Or I didn't. I must have. Yeah. What does it say?
Contributions, gifts, and grants, 12,328.
Ooh.
Direct expenses. Oh, fundraising events was just over 33,000, with 19,000 in direct expenses from gaming and fundraising events. Total revenue was 29,003. Salaries was just under 10. So like they essentially wrote off where they were at a $3,300 deficit for the year. Let's see what.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That. Yeah.
2022, they had a net income of negative 7,000, 21 profit of 1,900, 2020 net income of 30. So right here, this is if you would look at that, would you want to give money to that type of a charity?
So that kind of fit with the speculation that I had. It wasn't making a lot of money, and so she was able to siphon money for her own personal uses. Hence the son's wedding, the daughter's birthday party. Oh wow.
I'm trying to see if they've got it listed.
And so now Kay says the rules don't apply to everyone. Perfect example is our current administration. How many times was he impeached and charged with crimes, and where is he now? So
I think Rob and I agree our legal system isn't exactly well balanced for anybody at this point.
Yeah, there are definite layers within it that are unfair. Yeah. 100% unfair. The sad part is when you see certain things where people will say, I understand that this may not seem fair, however, it is legal. So let's not make a mistake. There's a difference between what's legal and what's fair. There's also a difference between what's legal and what's just. There's also a difference between what's legal and what's moral. Mm-hmm. So let's not make any mistake here about that. I can't say bingo about something. I'm not quite sure which part because we just said a whole lot just then. But yeah. So anyway, all right. Anything else we want to say about this one, Christine?
No, I'm good. I think the only other thing to add, so total support from 2019 to 2023 was $646,000 based on the filing of the 990.
Wow. Very interesting. So listen, I've got one thing that I want to talk to you guys about. So everybody's talking about artificial intelligence nowadays, and it is a big deal and it is a big thing. Auditors, we need to learn to leverage AI for our benefit. That is why I created the first and best AI app specifically to help auditors become more efficient at what we do, but also more effective. It is called Audit Leverage. Take a look.
Welcome to Audit Leverage, the AI-powered platform that's transforming how auditors work. Brought to you by That Audit Guy. Whether you're exploring for the first time or already part of our community, we're glad you're here. Our platform is built to make auditing smarter, faster, and more impactful. From planning audits and uncovering risks to writing clear, actionable reports, Audit Leverage has the tools you need to save time, sharpen your skills, and deliver results. If you haven't signed up yet, now's the time. choose the plan that's right for you, and unlock everything Audit Leverage has to offer. For those already signed in, welcome back. Get started by exploring our tools, managing your account, or visiting our help center if you need assistance. Wherever you're at, we're here to help you work more efficiently and deliver better results.
Ha! That was the wrong video, but okay. Oh,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Audit
Well,
Leverage.
try it out.
You can go to auditleverage.net and you can take it for a test drive.
You should try it.
All right. So I know you got to run, so I got to
gotta
run, so we got to run. We'll see you all next week.
Take care.